attention, please. It's time for the final countdown. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Good evening, sports fans, and welcome to the C.J. Howard Sports Talk Show, live from the mountains of Barberville, Kentucky. Want to talk sports? Give us a call at 502-849-9320. Do you have any questions, or would you like to leave us a comment? Please go to my page and like and share. Now, let's go live to C.J. Howard.
Early happy Halloween to everybody, and welcome to another edition of the C.J. Howard Sports Talk Show, episode number 11 on the horizon tonight. Hello, everybody. I'm C.J. Howard from my apartment in Hazard, Kentucky. We've got a dandy lineup for you. You can watch us tonight on my regular page, the C.J. Howard regular page. You can go to my sports page, the C.J. Howard show page. You can also watch us on the D&D Sports Network, and you can see us also on YouTube if you cannot watch us anywhere there. Guys, got any comments? Got any questions? If you'd like to make a phone call, you can please do that. Leave your comments and questions in the comment box. We'll answer them the best we know how. If you want to give us the show, call 1-502-849-9320. We'll be glad. I'll be glad to hear your call. Eugene won't be able to hear your call, but if you have a question for him, I will relay the question back. He'll give me the answer. We'll go from there. We have a great guest list tonight. We're going to be joined by Athletic Director Justin Amburgey from Knott County Central High School. Got a lot going on there in Knott County. We're going to talk with him about. We're going to be joined by legendary head football coach for the Bell County Bobcats, Mr. Dudley Hilton, at 8:30. Looking like Bell County's going to could hold on to that number one RPI ranking if they can get their final win on Thursday night against Hardin County. We're going to talk about that because we do have a couple of games that's being moved due to Halloween. Games are being switched around. I know Eugene will be able to answer more about this one because I think I did see where Hardin County and Bell are going to play Thursday night, not Friday. John Mills is going to join us. The Alice Lloyd women's basketball coach, Mr. Mills, is a funny individual, great guy. Love having him on the show. It'd be awesome to have him here with us at 9 o'clock. And then at 9:30, Audrey's going to join us from WYMT. We got to talk about that disappointing UK football team, but might be a great beginning to the UK basketball team. And then we got a lot of high school football and other stuff to talk with Audrey about. Joining me tonight, one of my good friends. He's makes me laugh every time I see him. You heard him on WYMTV when it's football or basketball time. He's a great guy. He's the athletic director at Hardin County High School, Mr. Eugene Farber. Eugene, welcome to the show.
Good evening, CJ. Always a pleasure to be with you.
A lot going on. It's hard to keep up with everything right now, Eugene. So much going on. I cannot believe that we're in week 10 of the high school football season. I mean, it's crazy. It seems like we just started July 15th, and now we're already to week 10. I mean, I don't know what to say about it because it's so fast.
Yeah, the regular season is already winding down. Just one more week, and then we go into playoffs.
We've got a lot of good games this week. We got a lot of games with RPI capabilities. And one game that I'd mentioned when we come on the air has been moved. Am I right, Eugene? You guys are playing Bell County on Thursday night, correct?
Well, we're still working out the logistics to that, CJ, to see exactly how that'll work. I would expect an official announcement sometime tomorrow on that.
Okay. We got a phone call, so let's see what we got here. Hello, you're on the C.J. Howard Show. I'm doing well, Christopher. How are you doing on this Sunday evening? a huge one of the best games that I saw the highlights. Was a really good play game. I think these two could meet again. I'm looking at the RPI. There's a chance they could meet, depending. Both teams. Ashland. I forgot who they play this week. Johnson Central is off, so. Okay, Simon Kenton. So it's a big game. It's big. Listen, every game this week it's got big time RPI complications. So there's going to be a lot of games out there that mean more probably to some teams. I know one game that right off the bat, Corbin, Pulaski County. It's such a big game for Corbin because if they can win. Well, you got Frederick Douglass is playing Boyle County down in Lexington. If you get an upset there, Corbin could bypass Boyle County, and that could be big down the road. So we got a lot of big things. We'll talk about that later. But Christopher, was you at the Ashland Johnson Central game? You don't have to go in full detail, but just tell me, was it worth everybody's money? Yeah, I agree. I saw the highlights. Johnson Central Ashland's been playing well. Johnson Central's been playing well. I knew it'd be a close game. It wouldn't hurt me a bit if I saw these two play again in the regional finals. But we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, we're going to go over some playoff, some scenarios of playoffs and stuff here in just a little bit. So, but we got a guest get ready to come up here, Christopher. I want to thank you so much for giving me a call, and you call anytime. You're very welcome, Christopher. Thank you. Thank you there. Appreciate it. Christopher giving us a phone call there. Eugene, as he was talking about the Ashland Johnson Central game, which was a great football game Friday night.
Epic battle. Ashland pulls out the 5-point victory, but like you said, CJ, listen, anytime you lace them up against Johnson Central, you know what you're going to get. And I tell you what, Johnson Central will be a force to be reckoned with in that Class 4A playoffs, as they always have been.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And, if you've never been to, I hope I get this name right, because it's legendary. If you've never been to Ashland's Field, I think the name of it's Putnam Stadium.
Yes.
If you've never been there, you need to experience one game in your entire life. Please go to an Ashland football game. It's a great experience, and it would be worth your time. So if you're ever in the Ashland area, you need to check them out down there. They got an awesome facility for football. Have you been there before, Eugene?
I have not. Our basketball team is playing in the historic Ashland Invitational this year. So certainly looking forward to that in late December.
We're going to get into some basketball a little bit later, both high school and college. We had a big exhibition game Friday night that we're going to talk about, and I may ruffle a few feathers, but it was you would not see an exhibition game like this probably ever, but it was for charity, and the result of the game was very, very surprising. I don't think surprising is not the word I need to use there. Probably the word I need to use is probably the team that we thought was going to be pretty good later. It's probably better than what they're ranked. So and maybe the other was not as good. We'll talk about that just in a little while. Eugene, as I said, we're in week 10. We've got a lot. I talked about the schedule. We got a lot of games with a lot of RPI rankings, but the biggest game is no question Pulaski County at Corbin, because it's big for Corbin because they need all the RPI points they can get. And then of course, if you go down in the state, you've got the big one, Frederick Douglass taking on Boyle County. Now, Boyle County's beat Douglass pretty solid the past 2 times they played. But Douglass, I know these seniors don't want to be 3-time losers to the 2-time defending state champions. So it's a big game for Boyle County, because if Corbin wins, Boyle loses, they're probably going to overjump them. And then you got some other RPI games that have so much invocation with them. It could swing either way when the final RPIs come out after Friday night's games.
Yeah, no question. And also, looking at the 4A RPI, CJ, you've got Boyle County, then you have Ashland in that 4 spot before you get to Corbin at the 5. So, that's really, it's a huge week. Do you get a Boyle County loss, a Corbin win? Is that going to be enough? Right now there's a pretty big gap in them in the RPI. So, a lot of implications this week here in the final week of the regular season before we head into the playoffs. But I tell you this, where you stand in the RPI is huge because that determines the amount of home games that you'll get as you advance further on into the playoffs.
We talked about this last week, and I don't know if you agree with me or you agree with us, but we talked about I don't like it. I love it that the first 2 rounds are regional. I think the first 3 rounds should be regional. I think you should have to pull. I think we should go back to you can do the RPI in the state semifinals.
Yes, I agree.
I think it should start there.
Yes.
Because if you do it a week early, sometimes you're going to get games you don't like. You're going look your 4A. I've got all the RPIs here too. I want to just tell. Supposed to have Justin on with us in just a little bit, but he might have got it. Usually he's right on time, but you look at the RPIs and let's use 4A for an example. If Corbin was to win, Bull was to lose, probably not going to happen because Bull's had Frederick Douglass's number, but Douglass has played such an intense schedule. Both Bull and Douglass have played intense schedules that they're prepared for this game. And it's going to be talked about all week. KSR's been talking about it. I think Prep Spin's going to probably do the game. But it's just but indications are Corbin is they're not far behind. With a win, they could overpass. If they could get close to Ashland, overjump Ashland, yes, that would help them. If Bull loses, the Bull's going to drop a little bit because Frederick Douglass's RPI is 4th in 6A. So they would probably drop a spot or 2, and that would help Corbin. So I don't know. I've seen about everybody's highlights this year at one time or another.
CJ, briefly, I want to talk about how stacked Class 4A is. You look,
yep.
Johnson Central RPI-wise right now is ranked number 10.
Mm-hmm.
They lose to Corbin by 5, and they lose to Ashland by 5. That shows you the depth of Class 4A. And I tell you what, you also look at Covcath sitting there at 7th. They could be a major factor as well. 4A is deep, they're loaded, and I'm telling you right now, it'll be wide open come playoff time.
Mm-hmm. I agree 100%. 100% do I agree. And and then the one team that couldn't stay home the entire way is Bell County because they are the number 1 RPI. If they beat Harlan County on this week, then they're guaranteed to stay probably number 1. Right now, they're 6.9. Rock Castle is 6.8. Well, they've done beat Rock. So Rock, even though the Christian Academy of Louisville could bypass them because, let's see, I'm going to go back to the schedule because Christian Academy of Louisville does not have a big-time opponent this week. But they need to win because if Bell – what if Bell stumbles or somebody? The numbers could not shift their way, and that you just gotta you have to take care of business. I know some teams want to rest people going into this week. It's especially hard for teams that are high in the RPI. They've got to stay there, and they can't afford to lose the ground. And if they do, it's going to really affect them staying home or them going on the road. Use Pikeville, for example. Pikeville is a 15 right now in the RPI. They can't improve themselves. They're going to play Boyd County on Friday night, and Boyd County is a good football team. We saw them play Bell County in week 2, They had Bell all over the field, and then Bell come back and won in the last couple of minutes of the game. And Hausberger played well with them the other night. Hausberger don't turn the ball over 3 times. That's a much different game than what everybody listened to and saw. But now I'll tell you a team that nobody's looking at in 4A in the mountains. Let me tell you, Winsburg is for real, folks. Now, if you don't think they are, you're sleeping in the you're sleeping in the wrong place, because this is a good Winsburg team. They're sound, they're healthy, and they're just nobody's talking about them, and they're just waiting to beat one of the two, Hausberger or Pikeville.
Yeah, Jerry Herron does a tremendous job at Williamsburg every year. They've only lost 1 game this year, and that was the home against Clay County. Got a big one with Perry Central at home this week, and then they're off to the Class A playoffs.
So, yep, we've got a lot of playoff matchups are set. The only ones that are not set are 4A, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. Now, joining us is the athletic director at Knott County Central High School. Always honored to have you, Mr. Justin Amburgey. Justin, it's an honor to have you on the show again.
Hey, thank you, CJ. I appreciate it. And I didn't know you was having my good buddy Eugene on here tonight, but I'm glad to see him as well.
Yeah, we haven't got to see much of Eugene this year. I get sad when I don't see much of him, so I thought we need to spend a couple of quality hours with him, because we need some Eugene in our life,
Well, I saw a new ARH commercial today with Noah on there, and they said I heard that Eugene was the one that brokered that deal, so I was just kind of wondering how much he got out of that NIL deal.
It all goes back to the non-disclosure.
But anyway, I'm glad to see that for Trent, and looks like he's started his career off on a pretty positive note at UK, and it's a good thing for Harlan County Central, and a good thing for Eastern Kentucky. So proud of what he's been able to do so far.
Well, now, Eugene, the one question I've got is, where's your seats at Rupp-Arena? Because I know Noah's got you some tickets. I know he's hooking you up, so you can't deny that.
CJ, world, you're so busy with events, it's just tough to get time to get up there. But I promise you, and I promise Trent, I will at least be up there a couple times this year to cheer him and the Wildcats on. And really, really honored that he's up there representing not only Harlan County but all of Eastern Kentucky.
Oh yeah, ain't no question about it. Watching Reed the other night play for the Rockets in a real game was exciting. I mean, he's not getting the minutes I think he probably expected early, but he'll get more as he goes along, and he'll start scoring the basketball better. But the competition level, you both know, in the NBA is fierce. So it's going to take Reed a little bit to get going, but I think he'll be fine.
For sure, no doubt about it. Just, every level you go up is an adjustment.
Yeah. Well, Justin, a lot going on. I first of all want to commend you guys on a Class A stadium. That is the pictures I saw. I'm not got a chance to be there. Hopefully I may get a chance to come next year. But nice, looking great. You've got the facility looking great. I know you've been focusing a lot on getting the football, but you've also been doing a lot of work inside, because you guys are going to be hosting the 14th region tournament this year. Is that correct? Am I correct on that?
Yeah, we'll host the 14th region boys basketball tournament this year. We got a 4 we have a gym, and the way it works in the 14th region is every district has one gym in their region that's capable of hosting the 14th region. So we get that every 4 years, and the last year we had that was the winner didn't get to go play, which was the hazard. They didn't get to go play at Rupp because of COVID. So, hopefully this year, whoever wins the boys 14th region there at Knott County Central will get to continue their season and go on and play at Rupp-Arena.
Yeah, I agree. I hope so too. Let's talk about the football facilities now. Beautiful. You guys done an unbelievable job getting that done. The people that worked on it done really good at getting it ready for you. It's a beautiful place now. Just talk a little bit about it and how proud you have to be of it, because this took a lot of time and a lot of people to get it done.
Well, we had our first football team back in I think it was 1978, and we still had a lot of the same infrastructure in place from that first original team, all the way from the fencing to the concession to the bleachers and stuff. And so it kind of started with our bleachers. We knew they were going to have to be replaced, just the shape that they were in, and then it just kind of grew from there. And I have to give our board members and our superintendent a lot of credit for that. They wanted to invest in our football program and soccer programs, and it just kind of happened that we were starting soccer at the same time, and so we kind of helped to sell that a little bit. That it was not only going to be for football, it's going to be for men's and women's soccer, and then we added some track elements around there. We don't have a lot of extra room, because we're right next to the highway or the state road there, but we did add a lot of track elements too as well, and it's been a really made the community really proud, and it's right now it's just a first class state of the art facility.
Yeah, the pictures I saw in there, I've been impressed with it. One of the nicer places that's been built this new, really nice. We go back to the flood, and you guys have really had to do a lot of work inside the gym and outside with the football field. After the flood a couple years ago, where are we? Is everybody in Knott County getting back to pretty much normal? I know a lot of the people there have been wanting to help the hurricane victims in North Carolina, Tennessee, and Florida, because they know what kind of they know what it was to go through in the flooding. So talk about that. Is everything pretty much back to normal, and how they're helping others in other states?
Well, a lot of you don't think about a lot of the little things. We knocked a lot of the big issues out quickly, as far as gym floor and just structural issues. But we're still, even at Knott Central, we're still working on getting our front gate replaced. We're still replacing doors that needed replaced after the flood. So 2 years later, we're still replacing things and repairing things that maybe you might not see or necessarily that are just jump out at you, but there's little things that are still having to be done from damage from 2 years ago. So I'm sure North Carolina will kind of see some of the similar effects of that. I actually have an aunt and uncle that have a home there in Avery County, North Carolina, and that got some flooding in the basement. They're kind of up on higher elevation, luckily, but they've kind of reported to me about some of the schools, and they actually started back school in their county this week, she said. And so, I don't think maybe the schools might not, at least in their area of Western or North Carolina, didn't get as much damage, maybe some of the Eastern Kentucky schools, but she said they repaired the road to their school, and they're back in school. So, so hopefully they'll get back, going and get things moving in Western North Carolina, like we have here in Eastern Kentucky. Yeah,
Florida too. I don't know what's good about the people in Florida. It's hard too when you got back-to-back hurricanes that they come one behind the other. It's really extremely hard, because it's hard to really prepare for something of that nature. And the same way with the flooding, we was not prepared for that. And it happened so quick. You see the pictures, and then you see the photos, and you see people on top of their houses, and you see them being, roads and houses being dead. 2 years later, I see that we're starting to get back to some normalization, but we still got a lot of work to do, because there's still a lot of things that needs to be done for the people of Eastern Kentucky that went through this.
There's a lot of things still needs to be done. I feel like Knott County Central is almost back to, in some ways, I mean, you hate to say it, but in some ways, we're even better than we were before. As far as, we got a new gym floor. We got, some new things at the football field. So, I mean, as devastating as it was, and you never want to wish that ever happened again. But, sometimes there are some silver linings come from it, and we have benefited as far as getting some nice new, even the doors at Knott Central were from 1976, a lot of them. So, they're new now, and we're just thankful to be able to have the facilities there that we have at Knott County Central, and the people that's really helped. I mean, I couldn't just begin to thank anybody, because it would just, I definitely leave people out, but we've had a lot of people that really have put in a lot of time and to get those facilities and back to where they need to be for our student athletes.
Yeah.
One of the things that I want to commend Justin on, aside from being a spectacular person and one of the best guys in the AD business, is as ADs, a lot of times you get pulled in a lot of different directions when it comes to coaching and hiring. And I really think that Justin knocked it out of the park in the hiring of Megan and Casey Huff. Knott County has a strong basketball tradition. And listen, I think it's very, very important that you get people in there that love Knott County, from Carr Creek to Cordia. And I know that Megan and Casey both do. And Justin, I just wanted you to talk a little bit about their growth and development and what you've seen out of them so far.
Well, we're very fortunate to have the coaches that we have at every sport. I mean, I'm blessed with some really great coaches, but even more so than that, just great people and great leaders of young men and women. And that's very true about both Coach Huffs. I don't think that. I kind of call Megan sometimes. I still call her Megan Mosley, because that's what I knew. That's what I knew her as. I taught at Emelina for a while when she was in elementary school, and coached against her when I coached the Cordia girls. And not a lot of people that don't remember that, but I coached the Cordia girls years ago, and we took a couple butt whippings to Knott County Central when she was a player. But just both of them, just great people, just great leaders of like I said, young men and women, work extremely hard, prepare our kids to give them the best opportunity that they have to win and to win basketball games. And I was just texting with Coach Huff just a little bit ago. We have the huddle focus camera there in our gym, and for some reason he doesn't want to know how to control it, or he can't figure out how to control it. I'm not sure, but he texts me and wants me to set it for him all the time. So, my son is a sophomore there and plays for Coach Huff and really thinks highly of him. And so I set the camera for him, and may go back and watch practice a little bit later and critique my own son a little bit. And I don't know if Coach Huff wants to hear any of my pointers or not. He probably doesn't. I may give them anyway, but no, we're very fortunate to have both of those people leading our young men and women in men's and women's basketball.
I just got a couple more questions for you, Justin. I'll let you go. You guys have picked up a big hiring. One team's lost, another team's gained. Misty McLaurin is now on your girls' staff at Perry Central. Talk a little bit about her joining the staff, and of course, her daughter is probably one of the top players in the entire 14th region, probably one of the better players in the state. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, it kind of threw me for a loop, honestly. We had a math position open in Knott County Central, and the assistant principal, I think, texted me and said, Hey, we've got a application here from Misty McLaurin for wanting this math position. And, it's not like, unfortunately, in the state of education right now, and I'm sure Eugene can attest to this, people's not knocking your door down wanting teaching jobs.
Oh, sir.
And especially math teaching jobs.
Right.
And so, you get one application, that's, you hope for at least one to be able to fill the position. And so, when her name came in, we were like, hey, well, maybe she's, interested in leaving Prairie Central. We didn't, we had no idea. So she got the, they did an interview process. I think they had a couple applicants, and she got the job and moved her daughter over, and we hired her as an assistant coach, and just been great additions, not only to the girls basketball team, but also to the faculty at Knott County Central and the student body as a daughter. And she's a really good basketball player. And, when I was coaching the girls a couple of years ago, she was one of the best players that we played against all season. And just to have her kind of wind up in our lap there at Knott Central, and her mom is a excellent teacher, and then she's not only just I have her in class. I teach one class a day. I teach a weightlifting class, and I have her in class and got to know her a little bit. And so not only is she a great basketball player, she's a great young lady, and just really fortunate to have not only the mother, but Misty as a teacher, but the daughter as well. And then she also has a younger sister who's a student at Hyman Elementary, who I don't know her as well yet, but I know she's had a really good season in the middle school ranks. So, we're just really tickled to have them, and thankful that they're there with us at Knott County Central.
CJ, when you do it right, you're competitive and you care. A lot of times your jobs are attractive. Because Knott County Central does it right, they're competitive and they care. A lot of times things like that happen. So once again, that's just to commend them.
Yeah. One other thing, I'll let you go. Cordia, I was wondering about them. How much longer is it, if it's going to be they get back in their gym? Will they remain using your other gym there in Hyman? And do you know the status of that?
I'm not aware of the status of their gym. I know they have made a couple efforts to repair the corner there and try to get it to where it can load bear like a crowd. I think they've got permission to practice there, but they can't hold crowds at this point. So at least this season, I'm pretty sure they'll be back at the old Hyman gym. Okay. I do want to plug one thing, CJ, while I'm on here.
Go ahead.
This is the first time there'll be a high school game played in the old Car Creek High School gym.
Okay.
It's probably 1974, maybe. And we're going to play the Car Creek Alumni Association. I really wanted to get this going. I'm a board member on the Kentucky High School Basketball Hall of Fame. And so we've done a lot of work behind the scenes already to get a game going up there, replaced the lights, rebuilt the stage, redid the floor, got wall pads, for safety kind of thing. So we're going to be playing a game up there this year. Floyd Central's going to come over, and they're going to be wearing Wayland uniforms.
All right.
We're going to be wearing Car Creek high school uniforms, and we're going to put that gym in the Hall of Fame where it deserves to be. So if any of your listeners over there, tickets are going to be kind of small, but we would love to have anybody that would like to just come.
Okay, we've lost Justin.
Lost you there. Anybody that would just like anybody that would like to just come and tour the old gym, just visit the old, because I'll tell you, right now in 2024, it looks almost identical as it would have looked in 1956. It's not changed very much at all.
Wow.
So we're trying to get some tourism there and try to help them. And they've got a lot of memorabilia from, those old Car Creek teams. You can walk down, look at where the old locker rooms used to be. It's just like a walk back in time. And any any basketball, anybody that knows a lot about Kentucky high school basketball, I'm sure knows a little bit about, at least somewhat about the story of Car Creek High School. So
Yeah.
It's a great story, and the gym is almost identical to what you would have saw, back in 1950s. So
If you'll send me the information on that, I will plug that every week until the game is ready to be played, and I'll take care of you.
all right, it's going to be January 27th. And again, they accept visitors up there, and they got a little visitor center, and they're trying to do more with that. So, it's just a, like I said, it's just a walk back in time. And
Yep.
When I go in there, you almost get like a Hoosiers, like, everybody loves that
Yep.
film, just kind of like a Hoosiers vibe. And
Yep.
it's just a great place to visit if you're a high school basketball fan.
Well, Justin, I'm glad you told me about that. And like I said, you send me that information, we'll plug that for you from the weeks and weeks to come. Justin, thank you so much for being with us. I'm sorry.
I won't get Eugene to come to that game. You need to come, Eugene.
Listen, Car Creek will be packed for that one, and I'm telling you right now, I instantly wrote it down. I can't wait. January 27th, Knott County Central, Floyd Central. That will be spectacular.
Yep. And I'd love for you all to come. I know you do some games for the WYMT, and if you want to put that game on air, we'd love to make that happen. And
for sure.
We will point that in the right direction to make sure that gets done, because we do know some people that can get that done for you. But Justin, thank you so much for being with us. It's always an honor. I know when I need you to be on, I can always message you, and you'll be right here. So thank you so much. Continue the great work there in Knott County, and we will talk to you later.
All right. And let me say, Eugene bragged on me, so I won't say one thing good about Eugene. He is one of the best guys in the athletic business. I love when we have either games with Hardin County Central. I know when we go over there, we're going to get treated right, and Eugene Farmer does it right at Hardin County Central.
Thank you, Coach. Always good to see you.
You be good, Justin. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Justin Amburgey, the athletic director at Knott County Central High School. He does a really good job there. Listen, being an AD is hard. You know that.
Yes.
Even the man in the box to our right, he knows. He's been coaching a long time. He's been around many ADs. He knows how tough the job is. With us now, one of my good friends and one of my favorite coaches in not just Eastern Kentucky, but the entire state of Kentucky, Mr. Dudley Hilton. Coach, it's great to have you with us.
You guys blow up an onion sack. You know I'm just your next guest, so don't spread it on too hard on me.
Coach, we love having you on here. You're just a great guy, and you do so many things good there in Bell County and for your team, not just for your team, but for the community. And for what you've done and for football and everything, you just you need the praises, because you've just done so well.
I need more experience. What I need, I don't have enough experience under my belt. That's for sure.
Coach, you take it right now. You have to be tickled to death. But I know as a coach, they're always going to tell me you're never as high as you can be, and never as low as you can be. You're 8-1. You got a big game coming up this week. If you win, probably going to sew up the number 1 RPI, which is very important for you, because that's going to keep you at Log Mountain for the entire playoffs. And it would make it, an opportunity to get back to Kroger Field like you did last year. Talk about your team a little bit. I know you guys, when you lost Mr. Football, you had a lot of questions coming into the season, but you knew you had a majority of your team back. That first game didn't go the way you wanted to, but then each week you started to get better and better, and now I think you're to the point where you're one of the top contenders in 3A football.
Well, CJ, I started a long time ago trying to win games and win the next game, and it's been 50 years ago, and I still do the same thing. I'm as serious now as I was when I started the Press It program 50 years ago. I ain't changed a bit. People ask, what game's important and this and that. In my vocabulary, every one of them's important. My kids better play every game. People, it started out being $1 to get in. and they went up to $3 for a long time. Now it's $5. I hear some places are $8 and $10 to get in. So if you're paying that much money, the fans need to see a good product out there on the field. And if you want to come to Bell County and watch a good product, or everywhere we go, we're going to play hard. We might not win them all, but we're going to play hard. And that's what they pay me for, to coach. And they don't really have to pay me. I love the coaching. I love working with kids. And our kids we lost Mr. Football last year, and it was a dream come true to me. I never thought in all my million years that I would coach a Mr. Football. I never thought I'd win a state championship, much less walk out on Kroger Field and do those things. But those things come to people that really works hard. And at Bell County, we really work hard. We don't make up no excuses. We try to show up every week to win and play the game. If we don't, we'll come back in Monday morning and we'll go back to work and try to win the next one. But your Lord's blessed me, and I've had a great ride, and hope I can continue to keep doing this thing. But this bunch of boys, we just got 4 seniors, and they don't know that, and I'm not going to tell them no difference. I'm going to tell them they're one of the next good Bell County football team. So we've really improved as the year go along. There's no question about it. We've got some athletes that really perform, and it's all started with the leader. And right now I'm the leader, but I've got to have some players, and I got a quarterback. I think he's second to nobody in this area. Blake Burnett, and his brother played great on the team, and now here he is. But we got some great running backs. Got 4 seniors, and Blake Evans, who's my linebacker, and he's been there for 4 years and done a great job. And Hayden Dameron, another good defensive back. A defensive lineman. And then that's you got to have some players, but you got to make them, and you got to pull them together. Other night against Clay County, we had 8 guys that scored, and you get 8 guys scored. That's like basketball. They big on scoring. So they just have 5. They got to get some points. In football, you get 8 kids scoring. Well, Lord, they think they've really done something by scoring a point. But that's one of my things that I believe in. And trying to get everybody a part of this game, because football, you can't play with one guy, boys. You got to have a team.
Yeah, you look back to last year's team when you had Mr. Football. It just wasn't about Daniel. He had a lot of surrounding people around him that made him Mr. Football, and those guys were come back this year. They you pick right back up where they left off. Now you've only got 4 seniors. And your youth program, your middle school program, has been getting better and better too. So you're getting a lot of kids that's going to be coming up in the next 2 to 3 years. That's really going to help you too.
Well, CJ, before you brag on too much, now our middle school team is bragging. Is dragging a little bit. We got 6 8th grade schools, and we don't have the best middle school program in the state, but we get them when they come a freshman, and that's when we throw them into the frying pan and getting them started to be a Bobcat, and that's what we're doing right now. We don't have very many freshmen right now. Don't have many 8th graders, but we got a few down there, and hopefully we can bring them along. But right now we're living a lot on tradition. We live a lot on what our hearts want, how hard we want to play, and if you got those things behind you, it can push you a little bit further. And it's pushing us on down the road, CJ. We believe when we walk out that door, we're going to kick your tail, and I'm not going to tell them no different. They're not very.
I believe you. But, I believe every word you're saying.
They're going to play hard for me, and that's that's what we need.
If you've never been to Log Mountain for a game, you're missing out on just one heck of an atmosphere. And they've done a lot of great work on their facilities up there. It's one of the top facilities in the land. You go back to your Clay County game the other night. That was a very impressive win for a couple of reasons. One of the district game, it sewed up your district championship, one of many district titles you've won in your career. But that Clay County team was not that bad running the football. They were leading this. They were one of the top teams around in time of possession, like controlling the football. And for you to beat them 49-6, and you controlled the game, that's just Bell County football because that's how it's been played. But you turned the script on them, and I thought that was an impressive win the other night.
Well, I'm going to tell you, Coach Sizemore's done a great job over Clay County. I remember when they couldn't chew gum and run at the same time, and he took them over about 4 or 5 years ago, and he ain't brought them nothing. He had a heck of a team last year. Yeah. I think I forget who he played in the playoffs, but he went up there. I think it might have been Belfry. I'm not for sure, but he went and played their tails off, and he's got a young team, and our whole district is young. Knox Central's young, Rockcastle's young, Clay County's young. So it's. But now you're talking again, going back to Clay County. Coach has done a great job over there, and I let him know the other night. He impressed me how well he coached.
Yeah, Eugene, questions for Coach.
Yeah, Coach, we've talked so many times over the years, and you know how much respect I have for you. One of the greats of all time. My biggest question is this: when you lost Daniel this year, did you have to change your system any at all, or how you played coming into this season?
No, I really didn't have to change it. I just, we lost the first game to North Laurel, and I jumped on Daniel after the game, and the kids kind of looked at me funny, and they said, "Coach, what do you mean?" I said, "Well, y'all kept waiting for Daniel to make us all look good, and he's not with us no more, boys." So I know that, but I don't think y'all know that yet. And after they realized that they all got to pull together more, it wasn't Daniel's going to make any of us look good. He made me look good, like I could really coach. He made my players look like they could really play. But sometimes you got to learn that those good athletes are not with you. You can't lay around and cry about it. And you got to realize that you're going to have to tighten your belt up a little bit tighter, and you're going to have to go work. And when we got beat, we came back and beat a real good Boyd County team. Yes. That's a very good football team, and beat a good Letcher Central team over there. And we finally got winning, and we don't even talk about Daniel no more as far as that goes. But if you listen to the press and you listen to people around town, they still want to talk about Daniel, and that's all right. But we're the ones got to go out and play. And I did that one time. I had a good running back at Breathitt County named Danny Back, and he carried Breathitt County, me and Breathitt County, for 2 or 3 years. And when he left us, it took us a while to realize we didn't have him no more. Well, it took us one game this year to realize we didn't have Daniel. And like I said, we went to work. But that's a good question, Eugene. I'm glad I got to answer that because, anymore we all live on one kid, and he makes us all look good for a few years, and then he's gone. Then we're going back down to the bottom. And that's what we didn't want Bell County football to go back down to the bottom and have to dig ourselves out another hole and play,
Coach, did you really learn about the toughness of this team when you went to Rockcastle and won that real good battle in the district?
Yeah, Daniel, the last couple of years had some big games against Rockcastle. Had one last year. I had 300-some yards, and we got beat right at the end of the game. And again, for him to carry us, and our kids had to go down to Rockcastle without him. It's almost like committing suicide. But our kids realized that we didn't have him. I believe if we'd hadn't lost the game before we went to Rock, we might have got beat down there. But we went down there and played well. They played good, and which is just a hard-nosed knockout, drag-out football game. But they kind of really grew up after that game and really took hold. But I was really proud for what we went down to Rockcastle because we played a lot on. They was closing that field down for the last game ever, and going back 50 years, who all played there and all that, and it's hard to go in those games that they got so many things they're saluting, going in there. But our Bobcats went down there and played well.
Yes, sir.
There's a lot of things you've done in your life. Mr. Jeff Archer brought it to my attention last week that you hosted the news one time. And I told him that I would ask you about this, and I would really love to know your opinion on how you think you did that night when you was hosting the news.
Well, last week I went down to Bourbon County, and they asked me to come out and flip the coin before the game started. And I told that referee, I said, give me the coin. I know what to say. And all you got to do is give me the microphone. And, I know what to say. So, that's just, it's just, I don't know. I tried to do it, but this news business is a little bit harder than this coaching is. I'll tell you that.
When Jeff told me that story, I said, well, I'm having Coach on next week probably. I said, I've got to ask him about that because I would love to see that because, you've done so much in your life that would have been the coolest thing ever to see. Did your wife also participate in that event? Did she do the weather?
Well, no, I don't think she did the weather, but I took her out there in the middle of that field last week, and she helped me flip the coin, and she got her taste of that the first time. She said, I didn't know what y'all talked about when you come out in the middle of the field. So that was interesting, but no, she sets everything up for me. She's a dandy. She came from Breathitt County, and I know when I moved to Bell County, she cried every night for 2 years, and but she's got over Breathitt, and I've moved her around several times. Been hard on her furniture, but she's a true football fan of mine, and she's never missed a game, and she just and she can't wait till Friday morning. She gets up and say it's Go Big Blue Day, so she's always excited about her games, and she made a real football. We kicked the extra point the other night, and she told me a few weeks ago I didn't have a kicker. And I said, honey, you don't know how I'm working. So anyway, we kicked the extra point against Clay County. I picked her out up in the stands. I hollered up her and told her it was for her. So I didn't get her nothing for her birthday. So I told her that was for her birthday. Okay.
Coach, you've got this team now, the number 1 RPI team in Class 3A. Talk a little bit about preparing this team for a deep run into the playoffs and the possibility of going back to Kroger Field.
Well, I really don't understand exactly what all the RPI stands for and what all it means, Eugene. It's over my head. But I know one thing: if you take care of business, and that's what you got to do, take care of what's in your hand that you can control. Absolutely. And we control our games this year that we played. North Laurel beat us the first game of the season, and it got away from us. But after that, we've controlled every game. We've won them, and at the bottom line, that we won. The people we played, I think everybody we played almost got a winning record. There's nobody 0-10 or something like that. They all, I think Clay County, unbelievable record. Rockcastle's got an unbelievable record. Boyd County's about, I think they're 5-4. So, if you play teams up there, we don't play nobody lower class than us, and I think everybody tells me that's good. So we play everything 3A or 4A or 5A. We don't play no 2 and 1, but that's good for us. But it's put us in a good situation. It's nothing like no place like home. I heard that on television one time. One of those movies, CJ. Ain't no place like home. So we're glad we get to play here. We did last year, stumped our toe against Rockcastle, but we didn't let it bother us. We had to go. We played, I think, Powell County first game. Then we had to go to Belfry and play. Lord have mercy, you go into Belfry and play and get to come home and play 2 more games at home. So one year at Lexington, when I was at Bourbon County, we won the state championship. We had to go to Somerset the first game and won it. But after that, we ended up having 3 home games some way or another because people got beat. They didn't take care of business. So we're going to just take care of business and let it be where it be in the home. And but like I said, there's no place like home. You know which end you know where you're going to get dressed at. You know which end you warm up on, and it just takes a few things off your mind. And we're sitting in a good spot. But Eugene, all I'm worried about is game number 1, and who we play the second, third. I don't want to hear about it. I tell my coaches, quit talking about that silly stuff. That gets on your mind, and that's why you have upsets for. People start looking. Hey, you better not count your chickens for the hatch. That's for sure.
Well, all I know is that Eugene, you better have Coach a hot dog and something good to drink when he shows up on either Thursday or Friday, whichever night you guys play, because you need to take good care of him when he's coming over there.
Listen, I'm telling you, and this goes for everybody. Listen, we know what kind of first-class program Coach Hilton runs. He always has, and I continue going back to the consistency. It's not one year; it's every year that he's right there in contention. And listen, that's no mistake. It happens every year because of the hard work and the preparation that's put in.
Well, I sure appreciate going to Harlan County because you can't go no better school than going up there and playing any kind of game because you're well taken care of. And he treats me first class. And a lot of people, I don't know, but I'm glad to have somebody like Eugene in our area that's it's got just runs a good sports program up there and treats everybody fair.
You played. Was you coaching when Coach Saylor was at Kaywood?
Yeah.
I mean, I know.
Yeah, me and Coach had several big games. He had 2 or 3 times in the '90s. Pretty darn good. We really got after each other good, and his son's doing a great job with them. He'll bring them back. No question in my mind. He's a worker. He's young, and I tell Bell County down here. If I lose many more games, they need to get them hard, good young coach, and go young for a while instead of fooling these senior citizens,
No. You're going to be over there for a long, long time. I can already guarantee you that because we can't have a fixture like you being not on the sidelines. So that wouldn't be worth it. If we can't see you and Coach Haywood, because you guys are 2 of the most classiest coaches in the entire state of Kentucky, and you guys, what football's about. You know how to coach your kids. You know how to get your kids motivated time in, time out, week in, week out. And it's just nothing more better than that. I couldn't imagine not to see you 2 on the sidelines coaching. That's why I think that you and him still got a long way to go. And I can't wait to see all these great results.
CJ, I have one more question for Coach. Coach, you've won everywhere you've been. You talked about being at Breathitt County, at Bourbon County. Also had a wonderful stint there at the University of Pikeville. The one thing that I want to say, in all of your years of coaching, what has brought you back to Bell County?
Well, just the people and people like you at Harlan County and the schools you have to deal with. There's some good mountain schools up in here. Some of them don't work as hard as they should, but that's all right. We're already our backs up against the wall up here in the mountains anyway, but because the unemployment and things like that, our kids are but the good Lord could put me in a place where they need me. Bell County is a place they needed me. And of course, I'm sure there's a few other schools up here could use me or somebody else that would go in there and work that hard. But it brought me back because of just needing me in the area, I guess. Have something to, when they go to Lexington, something to talk about. And, it makes me feel proud that you can go anywhere in the state of Kentucky and say anything about football, about the mountains. Bell County's name's going to be mentioned up. I'm going to tell you right now. And again, that's that makes me proud because that gives them a chance to talk about Bell. But Eugene, I've took over. Breathitt County never had nothing, and I brought Mike Holcomb in up there, and they did it. Bell County never had nothing. I come in here and did that, and I went down to Bourbon County and won a state championship down there. And a fine program now. This not this year. They're way back down. But went down to University of Pikeville. Governor Patton helped me up there to get started, and everybody felt sorry for me taking over that college team. But I really enjoyed that. I learned a lot about college, what it takes to play college football, and Governor Patton really supported me. And of course, Al Holland was my offensive coordinator. They know smarter mind in offense and little Al, that's for sure. And I feel like I really helped them, and then go down to Taylor County, and now they got a big field house down there doing well, and I really thought I really upstart those programs. I never did go to a well-to-do school that already had a football program. I always thought if you went to one of those schools, all you're doing is maintaining it. And I'm not a maintainer. I don't want to take your program, Eugene, and you go 10-1 every year and me come in there and maintain that. I mean, I'm just not a maintainer. I'll take CJ's program, who's 0-10 and 1-9, and try to. They'll forget CJ quick. They won't forget.
They won't remember me.
But that's always been my way. I've been an underdog all my life growing up. As far as playing on bad the high school team, my coach tried and everything, but I wasn't a winner in high school. I wish I could say I was, but I wasn't. But now I'm paying. I'm getting a reward out of my coaching. Though I'm glad. I'd rather win coaching than I would now playing high school, because those days are over with. So, but it's all blessed me, and I've been a lucky guy. And my changes is by going to school like that. And I didn't change that much 5 times. But it revives you a little bit, Eugene. There's so many coaches gets in a rut, and they start talking about retirement. Well, they need to be coaching if that's what you're into. Our kids needs stabilized coaches that wants to coach, not worrying about what your paycheck is, how much money you're making, or I can retire in 2 years and I'm going to build me a team and then just let the bottom fall out of it after that. Everybody I ever left, I've left them a good team. I left Mike Holcomb, one of the best team. I left Tom Greer, a heck of a team here at Bell County. I left Chuck Williams, a heck of a team down to Taylor County. I came back to Bell. Wayne Mills took it over and almost won a state championship the next year at Louisville Central and left him a heck of a team. And I went to University of Pikeville, and Al became my coach up there. So I feel like I've prepared people that follow me with a pretty good football program.
Ain't no question about it, Coach. And anything else you want to ask, Coach? I mean, sorry, Eugene, I had to cut you off.
Listen, not only that, and not only the football players, not only the football teams, but you go back and you look at every player that's played for Coach Hilton, what kind of people they are. Listen, they're blue-collar, hard workers, family men, got their priorities right. And listen, that's the long-term development that you see from having a guy like that in your community. And I hope that everybody realizes that, listen, he sat here tonight and given every single young coach a blueprint for how to do it. And I certainly respect the fact, not only that he's done it, but the longevity and how long Coach has been at it and how hard that he's worked at it.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, Eugene, because, it's just, I don't know. Like I said, I could retire. I'm 76 years old. I've got 50 years experience in. I just think if anybody's ready to retire, they need to go ahead and retire. You know what I'm saying? Our kids need, and it's administrations and all of us, teachers and all, they need to give it to all they got that ever how long they want to teach. If they don't want to teach no more, let somebody else come in, because that's our kids needs us in Eastern Kentucky, that's for sure. And but I appreciate you saying that, Eugene.
Well, Coach, nothing but an honor always. I know when I can pick I can message you, and if you ain't got nothing to do, you'll be glad to come on here. And I'm honored to have you anytime.
Well, let me say this, TJ. I've learned this technology a little bit better than when I first started. Y'all used to be so far on my head. I didn't know y'all knew that much, but y'all brought me along pretty good. So I appreciate y'all helping me with this technology. It's big time, Eugene.
Oh, yeah.
DJ, he's involved in more than just football. I'm telling you.
Exactly right. And like he said, his wife helps him some, but now he's able to do some stuff on his own, and that's we call that steps. Each step he's took, he's gotten better. Coach, absolute honor. Nothing but the best of luck to you and your team. You got Harlan County this week. It's a road game. Don't know the night yet. You guys are trying to finalize that. It's either going to be Thursday or Friday.
It's Thursday.
It's going to be Thursday. Thursday night. You've heard that first here on the CJ Howard Show. It is a 7:30 kick Thursday night. So if you're not doing nothing and you're in the Harlan County area, please go down and check that game out. Coach, God bless you, and good luck to you and the Bobcats.
Thank you, guys. Always good to talk to you.
Yes, sir, Coach.
Thank you very much. Coach Dudley Hilton of the Bell County Bobcats says, what a man. What a guy, Eugene. He's just top notch.
CJ, listen, I mean, if you've got this taped, I mean, listen, he sat there and gave you a blueprint. If you're a young person getting into coaching, I mean, he laid it out there for you. Listen, it ain't about retirement, but listen, while you're there, you got to go all out, give it your best, and every single kid deserves all you got. And that's certainly what he's done, and he's done 50 years now.
checking to see if Coach Mills has ever accepted my message. I think he did. He did see it. So hopefully we'll be having him in just a few minutes. We got Audrey at 9:30. But we did get it confirmed, Eugene, that the Bell County Harlan County game is a Thursday night game, and it will be played 7:30 kick at Harlan County.
Yeah, I mean, you look at what Coach Hilton has done. He talked about losing that first game. They've just gotten better each and every week. The games they've won, both at home and on the road. And I tell you, here we are at the end of the season, and he's got this team prepped yet again for another deep run into the Class 3A playoffs. And don't be surprised if he's not walking out there on that carpet in early December on Kroger Field again. Yeah,
ain't no question about it. We hope to see that because we saw it last year and it was exciting. We hope to see it again as well. Okay, now joining us is a very good man, the head women's basketball coach at Alice Lloyd. We cannot see him, so hopefully we can hear him. Coach, can you hear us? Okay, Coach cannot hear us. He might have to go back out and come back in, or he'll have to turn his camera on. So hopefully we'll get that done in just a moment. Coach Mills is going to hopefully join us in just a second. He's the Alice Lloyd women's basketball coach. Great guy. But as well, while we're getting Coach Mills, trying to get him settled in here, let me real quick go over the schedule for week number 10 coming up, the last game to the regular season. We know of one game that's been moved to Thursday night, and that is Harlan County and Bell County is now a Thursday night game. Other games around the mountains, we've got Leslie County at Pineville, Perry Central at Williamsburg. Here's one with a lot of RPI indications. You got Pulaski County at Corbin. Now, this is a makeup game from week 4 that was canceled due to the was it weather related? I can't remember, but we'll talk more about that in just a few moments. Coach Mills is now with us. He's finally getting his camera fixed. Coach, can you hear us?
That's a bad thing. I can hear you. That's a bad thing having.
Oh, Lord. Coach, you're hilarious. You cracked me up. I tell you what, Eugene, I don't know if you're on TikTok or not, but this man right here has got some very, very interesting videos. He keeps me entertained. It's a blast. You know what? A man of his age and enjoying life the way he's doing it makes me want to live for 50, 60 more years. I mean, he is having a great time, Coach. And it's an honor to have you on here tonight.
It's a pleasure to be with you all tonight. I always enjoy talking to you.
A lot of good things going on at Alice Lloyd, as we always know. You're staying busy. You're doing a lot. You're doing a lot. You're out there. Your team. You're getting ready to open up here in about 2 days from now. I think the 29th. You open up. Got to be excited. Talk about your team a little bit, because you got a good team coming back, and I think a team that you're excited it can make a big run.
I really like this group that we have. We have a great combination of players. Have a lot of great additions, but the success is on the returning players. Their leadership, they're taking these young players under the wings and teaching them what college ball is all about and how much different it is than high school.
Yes. Your roster, you have a lot of returning kids from this team. You have a lot of, I think, sophomores and juniors. How many seniors do you have?
I have one.
You have one senior.
Katie Jo Moore from Floyd Central High School.
But you'll be leaning on your juniors and sophomores a lot this year, because you have a whole bunch of them.
Well, I have one junior.
Okay.
One senior, 7 sophomores.
Okay.
And a busload of freshmen.
And you have a lot of really good freshmen too. Some names that we've seen before that's played. at school. So you're getting them introduced to the women's game, and you've been coaching a long time, so they're learning a lot of new things that's probably new to them that they've not seen before.
A lot of it is new to them. A lot of it's similar. It's just called different names. And we may put a different spin on the same drill that they're familiar with, but then, we feel that our spin on these drills prepares them better for the college game.
You've been at Alice this year. What year is this for you?
This is year 42.
Been coaching a long time, and you've had great success. You have a lot of fun doing it, coaching. Coach, you really, the girls love playing for you. They're when you see them on the floor, they play hard. They'll run through. They'll do anything, and they just play hard for you.
Yeah, we keep everything in perspective, and I think that helps them buy into it a little bit more quickly than all the pressures that come with it, just from a natural standpoint, because of the different level. But what we try to do is we push them hard, but we also know when to let up, and then also know when to have some fun with it as well. So we just don't constantly just browbeat them with basketball, because there's more to it than that.
You got to have a little fun with them every once in a while too. So that means that they like that too.
Yep. And I think that helps build those relationships between the players and the coaches, because they see all sides of us, not just the basketball part. But they know when it's time for basketball that we're going to be serious about it, and they're serious about it, and we get a lot of things done in a hurry.
Coach, as an Alice Lloyd alum,
so
talk about the impact of having Eastern Kentucky kids on your roster, and also just the impact that Alice Lloyd has had on all of Eastern Kentucky.
Well, you go back to the very beginning of Alice Lloyd when she first started the community center here, and she saw that the leaders for Appalachia are here. They just need training, and they need to be exposed to things from different parts of the world that will better prepare them when those things arrive in Eastern Kentucky. We've already seen it, we've already heard about it, we've already studied it, and we are prepared to deal with it. And when you look back when she started, there were no really formal schools in this remote part of the state, of the region. And as she trained the young people to become teachers, then she sent them out into different areas, and they started their own schools. So a majority of the school systems are because of what Alice Lloyd started here. So her impact on this region is just immeasurable. And we didn't have access to doctors. She said, "Well, if we're going to have doctors in this region, we have to train them." And so she got them to a certain point. That's when she started the junior college, the community college, and then she built relationships with UK and other big universities to take them in. What she did, what she could do with them, and finish the formal education. And that's how we got all the doctors in this area, how we got that started as well. So the impact that she's had, she and Miss June have had, it'll never be erased in any form or fashion in the history of this world.
Absolutely.
And Eugene knows this as well as I do. Alice Lloyd College is one colleges that is you can go get an education. It's not going to cost you a dime. There's so many things that you can do there to help pay for your educational needs. And people don't realize that because they look at Alice Lloyd like, okay, well, it's Alice Lloyd. We don't know. We won't go to a bigger school. But in the long run, Alice Lloyd's come a long way. They got brand new gymnasiums, brand new facilities. They've upgraded all of the dorm areas. They got whole brand new buildings, and all baseball, softball fields been remodeled, and everything's beautiful. It's not the same old. It's not the same old Alice Lloyd. It's the new Alice Lloyd, but it's still the same accomplishments. You want an education with no money, for less money. Alice Lloyd is your place.
Yeah. Let me add a couple statements to that. Now, when we say that there's no cost for the educational component, the educational component is the tuition. That covers all your in-classroom experience and in-classroom expense. Now, we do have room and board costs. So I want to make sure that people understand that you just don't come here and automatically get everything. Your tuition is 100% covered, and that's your biggest part of your higher education. And we pay for your books. That's another large expense. And we also give every student a new iPad when they come to campus. Now, if a student is financially in financial need, we do have ways of covering their room and board, coupled with other things. Now, as a Pell eligible student, the Pell eligibility, the Pell grant that they get, we allow that to go towards their room and board. Every other university and college in America puts it towards tuition. We're paying your tuition, but if you get a full Pell grant, which now is in excess of $6,000 a year, that goes automatically towards your room and board. So that cuts that expense way down. And so you can get through here if you are frugal. You can get through here with no student loan debt if you so desire. And that means you start life or start professional school debt free. And it really helps you from a standpoint of making that next step in your life.
Eugene, you went to Alice Lloyd, right?
Yes. I was asked coach. When I was at Alice Lloyd, if I remember, coach, you were coaching the men at Berea College, and I was just going to ask you about the transition from coaching men to coaching women, and if there was any similarities and differences there for you, especially at the collegiate level.
Well, I've coached. I coached women before I started coaching men. I was assistant coach for 2 years with Joe Stepp and Jim Stepp with the men's team in '88 to '90. And then in '90, I started coaching the women here. And then I took over the men in '96. Then I left Fort Berea in the summer of 2001 and started coaching there with Coach Weirwillie for a year. And then he retired. And then I was named the head coach at Berea for the next 8 years. And then in 2010, I came back here. Now, basketball is basketball. You teach basketball the same whether you're coaching men or whether you're coaching women. And you hold both of them with the same accountability in all facets of the game, but in all facets of the expectations of the program. And they both will respond to that in a very favorable way. Now, as far as some people feel, well, you have to be tougher on guys than you do women. No, you tough on both of them. Otherwise, you'll be mediocre. And we don't believe in anything of being mediocre at this university or at Berea College when I coached there. We hold them all to the same standards. Now, sometimes you have to be a little bit more understanding and work with, because men and women have different things that they face at different times, and you have to work with them sometimes a little bit differently. But as far as the basketball stuff, you coach both of them same way. But other things, you have to maybe make some adjustments between the two genders. But as far as the basketball stuff, I coach both of them the same way. You talk to Bunky Harkerroad, or you talk to Charles Marshall, who is the coach at West Virginia State University, and you talk to our players this year. And when I was coaching Berea, they ran 8s for conditioning. Our women run 8s with times on them. And I mean, it's a gut wrencher, but both of them respond with great. They don't love it, but they push themselves through to the finish line. So, and that helps get them ready for games.
Well, you know, Coach, you couldn't find two better people coaching your guys' programs than you and Scott Cornick. You got the women's, Scott's done the men. You know, Scott's got double duty because he also does baseball. But you guys work so well together. And talk about that a little bit, because how important it is for the men and women's coaches to be able to work together, because there's so much tie-in to what you guys are doing.
Well, Coach Cornett, he knows he better do what I tell him to do, because I coached him in baseball here for 2 years. So he trained him back running foul poles. We've had, since that time frame that I coached him in baseball, we've had a very, very close relationship on the field of play, on the courts, and away from the courts. I've always been a big fan of his, and he's always been a big fan of mine. Whether I'm here or he's here, or I'm someplace else or he's someplace else, we always pull for each other. And I think that what it does, people focus. They focus on the athletic programs, and they measure the atmosphere on campus based on the relationship of the sports team.
Mm-hmm.
If you have two sports teams that are at odds on a campus, whether it be high school, whether it be grade school, whether it's college or wherever, then you've got issues a lot deeper than just from an athletic standpoint. The on your campus changes with that. So here, Friday night, I was here cheering, and our ball team was here cheering for our women's volleyball team. They'll go up and cheer for the soccer team. We go cheer for the softball team, the baseball team, and and that just builds community within the campus. And when you have no animosity between your sports teams, you have a very close, cohesive university.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people probably don't know this either. If you've not been around the game, they play a lot of women-men doubleheaders, and you get a good opportunity to go check out Alice Lloyd, whether it be on the road or at home. And I love it when you guys play a doubleheader, because they get the chance to see, not get to watch you guys play, and then you get to watch the women play. It's just a cool atmosphere and a cool environment.
Yeah, we go to Milligan on Tuesday, and it'll be a women's JV varsity doubleheader. But then next weekend, we both travel together down to Welsh College, down there between Bowling Green and Nashville, and we play in a classic there. So the men will play 2 games in next weekend, and we will play on Saturday. But we'll travel together, and we'll ride the same bus, more than likely, and stay at the same hotels. and more than likely eat at the same places. So, but our players, they enjoy that camaraderie. We'll have all their team at our home games, and all of our players will be at their home games if we're playing separate. We support each other that strongly. So uh, the, the atmosphere on any campus, you just look at the relationship of your athletic programs, and you will realize whether or not you have a very effective.
Okay, that might be Eugene. Yeah, that is Eugene. Okay, we'll get him situated. He's trying to get his. Okay, but Coach, you're right on that. Chironomy is very important, especially when you guys are together. Even when you're not together, it's important when you're together with just your team. When you go to these other places to want to be with each other, want to do things with each other. Because if they don't want to be with each other, they're not going to play for each other when they get on the floor.
That's exactly right. And you've been around the game for a long time as well, and you see it, you've seen it firsthand, and it's really a very sad time when those things start coming into the program. And I talk to my players all the time. I mean, from the very beginning of the season, I have talk to them about the damage that the third voice will do to a program, to a system, to any business, any entity out there, or country, whatever. When you have the wrong third voice and you allow it to come inside, then it can destroy you from within before you realize it. And I really hit home to them that you have the voices of the coaches, voices of each other. It's the only two sets of voices that come into play with this program. Everything else, and I let them know right then if you've got some of my family members watching this show tonight, they will hear it me firsthand. People that are supportive of our players, they're their family, and they're their fans. That's as close as they come to these four lines.
I agree 100%.
And if
if
we keep everything in perspective that way, then it will be a great ride.
As I always said, what you say in the locker room stays in the locker room. That's all you need to know. I mean,
you hope so.
You hope so, yeah. Eugene, any final thoughts you want to say to Coach Mills before we let him go?
Well, one of the things, as an Alice Lloyd alum, I just want to say, how much respect I have not only for Coach Mills and the program that he runs, the class that he runs it with, but also the impact that he's making on Eastern Kentucky, the students of Eastern Kentucky, and helping build tomorrow's leaders. And I certainly appreciate that. And all the kids you see coming out of Alice Lloyd, they're always ready and prepared to go right into the workforce and contribute as your leaders in whether it's in medicine, teaching, or whatever field they go into. So, Coach, I certainly appreciate that.
I certainly appreciate the kind remarks. Very humbling.
Well, Coach, it's always an honor to have you on here. Again, if you're on TikTok, you need to follow Coach Mills. He's got some fantastic material that he does. It's funny, funny, and he does some serious stuff too. But he's just a great follow. And if you can do it, please follow him on TikTok. He's also on Facebook and everywhere else. Just follow him. He's a good man and he's a good ambassador for the game. And Alice Lloyd would be lost without having him around. Coach, I want to thank you so much for being with us tonight. And we'll probably holler at you again later in the year. We'll see how how progress has went.
I certainly appreciate the opportunity to be on here tonight, and I'm going to tell you the impact that you two are making by promoting our young players throughout the region is just immeasurable. The players, the young people, just don't know how instrumental that is in them getting the opportunities that you all help open doors by promoting them. So my hat's off to you all, and I really appreciate it, and I'll support you any way that I can.
Thank you so much, Coach. I appreciate that a lot. That means a lot. Good luck to you guys. You first game Tuesday night. You will play. You have a JV varsity game, and you're playing who?
Milligan. They're
Milligan.
number 2. They're number 2 in the Appalachia Athletic Conference. They're in Johnson City, Tennessee.
So that's at Milligan, right?
Yes.
Okay. So if you're in the Milligan area, check them out. When's the home opener for both teams, the men and the women?
The guys will open up. I think ours is November the 6th.
Okay.
With Ohio Christian University, and the guys is that weekend.
Okay.
They have a classic hosting.
All righty. Well, we'll remind everybody of that. We'll check that out if we can do that. Coach, congratulations. God bless you. We will talk to you later.
Thank you, sir. Have a good night.
You have a good one. Thank you, Coach. Coach John Mills of the Alice Lloyd Ladies basketball team. I'm going to tell you what, Eugene, he's done so much with this Alice Lloyd team that, listen, we always talk about coaches that coach and don't learn from their past. You can tell that Coach Mills has worked on his past and is going to build for the future.
Well, he's a champion for Eastern Kentucky students and student athletes, CJ, and that's what I appreciate the most. Listen, everywhere he's been, it's a first-class program. Listen, he produces your next leaders. And I tell you, not only, the morals and ethics that he has, and also the ability to teach basketball is immeasurable. And that's why year in, year out, he always has a quality program. And listen, success-wise, they're always right there at the end of the year. The one thing I will say is he was talking about Milligan College. Milligan's actually in Elizabethton, Tennessee, which is just outside of Johnson City. But the one thing I want to say about that is this. That Jason Witten, former tight end for the Dallas Cowboys, is a native of Elizabethton.
Did not know that. See, you give me information I didn't know. So Eugene with the dishing it out. You was talking about football to the NFL. If anybody did not see the ending of the Chicago Bears and Washington Redskins, you need to go see the highlights. I was telling Eugene when I first got on and he first come on, I said, did you see the ending of that game? They had 23 seconds to go, 80 yards, and they threw a Hail Mary and caught it and scored with no time on the clock. It was crazy. If you get an opportunity, you need to watch that. It was so great to see. We're going to have Audrey hopefully in a few minutes. We've had a great. Well, listen, this has been an unbelievable guest list tonight. We've rolled them out left and right. We had Justin and it's just been super, super. Oh my Lord, I'm getting a double dose tonight. Oh my Lord.
Surprise.
See, I'm expecting Jack next week, and I still think he'll still be with me. But I'm getting the double dose of this. I love it when I get double doses because this is so much fun. Joining us right now is Audrey and Jack from WYMT. I was only expecting Audrey, but Jack's here too. That makes it even better. So if Willie was, not Willie, but if Armando was to come walking behind him, I think the trio is all here. All right, now we're going to go in reverse order because I want to get rid of the stuff that's not important.
Okay.
I don't want to harp on stuff that we've seen week in, week out from Kentucky football. I do want to say this much. you know, I'm listening to these calls. I listened to the post game show last night, the complaining and all this and that. Listen, I want to tell these fans one thing: Coach Stoops is not leaving unless he's not leaving Kentucky unless he leaves. You ain't gonna get bought out. We ain't got the money. We had to buy money to get Calipari out. So why would we got no to go pay him unless he leaves? He's not leaving. So we need to get that in our heads first of all. Second of all, we need to quit getting these quarterbacks out of the portal. We need to grow our own quarterbacks. We need to recruit one. Okay, say, hey, you're a freshman. We're going to start you right now, and you're going to be our quarterback. And you're going to make us proud. Because now listen, Brock Vandergrift might be a pretty good quarterback, but he's not a Division I quarterback. I'm sorry. I've seen what I know. Listen, I've been around sports all my life. He's not a Division I quarterback. When you got two all-pro receivers and you can't get them the ball, you listen, Dane Key's been doing all he can do to keep this Kentucky team on offense. Last night they wouldn't have had no offense. Who went down? You did, Audrey, right? Was you down there? You saw it firsthand. Without Dane Key, they probably wouldn't have the 10 points they got in the first quarter because he's making plays. When you're when you're behind the 8 ball and your first 5 skill players are not almost in the game, well, you know you're in trouble already. So, I mean, talk a little bit about last night because I don't want to harp on a lot because there's no use in it. We need to, we got 4 games left.
Yeah, the quarterback situation is something that has been a storyline the entire year. And we were talking before about how, like, Brock is just so uncomfortable in the pocket. Like, as soon as he gets any sort of pressure, or he sees people coming at him, or he sees his offensive line break, he gets like scatterbrained, can't make a play. Like, he does have some grit to him where he run, but I haven't seen that like week 2, week 1. So like, I don't know why that went away. But yeah, he just is not mentally to be an SEC quarterback. Maybe he could be a Division I in a different conference, but not at that level.
And then, I don't want to bash our backup quarterback, but we've got 2 more quarterbacks on the roster. Why can't we see one of them?
Yeah, especially because Mark Stoops was asked after the game if keeping Brock out was because of injury or just try to get something generated. And he's like, no, he just wanted to see if something else would work. But like, okay, well, that still works. So, like, we have to have another.
What's sad is you let an Auburn team who's not very good, you let their star running back go for 270 or more on the ground. That can't be happening. Listen, Kentucky's defense was really good early. I think they sort of, after the Vanderbilt game, I think Kentucky's defense finally realized, we can't carry the load, and we're not that. We are good, but we can't carry the load week in, week out. And then the Ole Miss game, the Vanderbilt game just tore them to pieces. And then they've had some injuries, and now we're seeing the backups in third place people come in, and they can't play. They can't stop the run. They can't stop the pass. Which teams ain't throwing the ball on us? There's running. There's
no depth.
Yeah. There's no depth anywhere.
And
when your kicker has got more points than some of your receivers and quarterbacks, you know that you need to have an investigation real quick because that's should not be happening.
Alex Rayner has been the most player on the
Listen to this. You'll love this. Kentucky's basketball team scored more points Wednesday night than the Kentucky team scored the whole season. They scored 123 points. I don't think Kentucky team scored 100. Let's see. They ain't even broke 20. Listen, they ain't even broke 20 in a game. 21's the most they scored all year, right? Against Ole Miss, right?
For the SEC, yes, but they played. They scored 40 against Ohio.
Yeah.
But like SEC, they haven't scored 21. They've scored 20 against the SEC, but nothing more than.
I mean, you know, you want to see a ghost town? Go to the Murray State game.
Yeah.
Because there'll be nobody there. I'm not being mean. I'm just saying, who's going to go watch them play Murray State? I'm going to be real honest.
I mean, if you want to see, but
If you've never been to a football game and you want some tickets, there'll probably be all kinds of them available for the Murray State game.
I will say the game against Louisville, I do think we'll still have a crowd because it's a rivalry game.
Yeah.
And Kentucky still has that deep animosity for Louisville that I think, regardless of what this season is, they want to end their season beating Louisville. So I think the fans will show up for that game. We
did get a little hope yesterday when Vanderbilt almost beat Texas, because it was like, maybe this is not the right call. Maybe I'm dreaming all of this. Maybe I'm gonna wake up and we've never started the season. We're just gonna start all over. Vandy's gonna be bad. South Carolina. Wait, no, I woke up. They're still good. I don't know what's going on here. I don't have a clue. I mean, it's horrendous. Listen, consistently in the SEC, and you see it week in, week out. When a team gets beat, the next week that team looks worse than they did the week before. Case in point, Alabama, 2 straight weeks. I mean, I think I beat with Tennessee and Vanderbilt, and then Texas gets beat with Georgia, and they don't look real good yesterday playing Vandy. I mean,
the one thing
Ole Miss has never recovered from the UK loss.
The one thing
go ahead.
I'll say, CJ, is I certainly understand that Kentucky has had issues at quarterback, but if you remember, going all the way back to when Coach Schlarman had to step away and pass, when Kentucky had the big blue wall, they were winning when they didn't even have a quarterback. And so I think that the biggest thing with Kentucky football is that offensive line. And those problems have existed all year. They existed all year last year. And until you're able to effectively move the ball on the ground in the SEC, you're just not going to be able to compete. And also, when the mountain decline for Kentucky has been steep already, when you add programs like Texas and Oklahoma in as well, it makes the mountain that much steeper.
I wish we played Oklahoma instead of Texas. We can beat Oklahoma. Well, I think we can beat Oklahoma, but I don't know that now. But I don't know. All right, let's get into week 9 and 10, and we'll talk some basketball. Let's go scoreboard first. Let me get it up in front of me. This was the most. You'll never hear this out of my mouth again. And I'm not using it as negative, but this was a boring week. There really wasn't anything out there that really, besides the Johnson Central Ashland game. Everything was 40 to 7, 35 to 6, 55-13, 49 to 3. You can't get excited for that.
A lot of everything that was supposed to happen happened.
I do believe in Hazard now. Even though they turned the ball over 3, listen, they don't turn the ball over 3 times the other night. They beat Pikeville. Because Pikeville scored 21 points off 3 Bulldog turnovers. You take the 3 Bulldog turnovers back, Hazard wins that game. Now, I'm not, Pikeville's still a good football team, but I think Hazard's better than what they play. And they've shown it all year long. They kept knocking the door, and people keep wanting to keep kicking them back out of it. But listen, I'm going to give you a game if it happens. If Hazard can get back play, win that one, they're going to play Harlan in the opening round. We're going to talk some playoff football, too, because I've got some potential matchups. But if they're going to play Harlan, should be Harlan. You're going to get that second round matchup between Williamsburg and Hazard. I smell a WYMT game of the week. I don't know. But those are 2 teams that nobody talks about in Class A football. They don't even want to put their name in their mouths because they're 2 of the better teams in the mountains. Because Jerry Herron at Williamsburg, he's 6-1 quietly, just walking around. I mean, he didn't even sniff the top 10. I bet he sniffs it this week. He'll have a great shot at getting in your top 10 this week because listen, they're a good football team. Hazard's a good football team. Both them and Pikeville's a good. Those 3 teams are good. I think they're all 3 the same. So I mean, but Class A football is much different from 2, 3, and 4. We all know that. There's more. You're going to have more games that mean more to the Class A schools than they do to the other schools. The other schools play hard, but they're just not able to compete with when you got the same names every year: Beechwood, Mayfield, LCA. But you're a mountain team. Somerset looked a lot better Friday night, but they playing Leslie County. Leslie County's not. They're not very good defensively. They didn't have very good night offensively, running clock. But you look at everybody. Look at your top 10: Corbin, School with everybody. Johnson Central. That was a great game between him and Ashland. I would have loved to be part of that one because that would have been worth watching. Christopher, who called earlier, he was there. He said it was a great football game. He would have paid double to go watch it again. And we could see that again. Belfry, solid, great win. Bell, game of the week. Bell looked so good Friday night because I thought Clay County could control the clock and keep the game close. Bell didn't allow them to. Bell just put away early. Clay had forced to throw the football. They can't throw it. They can run it real well, but they can't throw it.
Bell's always the one to throw the clock when they win.
We had Dudley earlier. Dudley, he's more excited about his team now than he was 10 years ago. And that's just how he is because he's that's what makes him one of the best coaches in the mountains. Then Rockcastle looked good. The good win over Knox Central's not bad. They're not bad at all, but this is a good win. Prestonsburg, I tell you what, if you want, we're going to key in on the schedule for week 10. But Prestonsburg Breast County game is going to be a monster game on the schedule, besides the Corbin Pulaski County game, because it's a big game for Prestonsburg on two fronts: undefeated regular season and an RPI. Because if they lose, they could go from 7 to they could get knocked down lower. So it's a huge game for them in the RPI because it's just like Corbin. Corbin's going to have one eye on the Frederick Douglass Boyle County game while they're over here playing Pulaski County, but they know how crucial the game is. We talked about last year how Corbin couldn't get a game week 10, how it hurt them so bad in the RPI, and they ended up going to Boyle County. Well, now they have a chance to make sure that cannot happen if they win Friday night and get some help. Which Friday night is, we call this RPI Friday because technically it's a big Friday night for a lot of teams in the RPI. Bell, if they win, if they win Thursday night against Hardin County, they're guaranteed to stay home for the entire playoffs unless LCA or Christian Academy of Louisville or one of the other teams is more impressive than Bell. So I didn't mention this, Dudley, neither. I don't think Eugene either. He may have to put the point total up a little bit to make it look impressive so that the RPI because it's important he gives me points stay where he's at. Because if Bell stays 1, they're going to be home the entire playoffs. And it's going to be hard to beat them in Log Mountain. But, Betsy Lane's not playing as well right now as they have been. I think the loss to Shelby Valley really took their confidence away. You only beat Pike Central by 1, which Pike Central's been up and down all year. And in one other game, likely Pineville will get a big win. I know they beat Lane Camp. And I know it's going to be a big game for both teams, but now Pineville, they'll get the 4th seed. Lane Camp's going to be the 5, and they're going to have to play Winsburg again. So, but I don't think we got a lot of answers, but we're going to get a lot of answers this coming Friday because we got what I call the RPI Friday because it's big games. You got I'll read the first 7 or 8, and then you can chime in. You got Leslie County at Pineville. You got Perry Central at Williamsburg. Got Pulaski and Corbin. I know that's on your radar. Letcher Central at Belfry. It's a big game for Letcher Central because they need to really pull together, and they need some RPI help. Bell's in Hardin County, and if you two don't know this game has been moved to Thursday night. So does that help you out as far as shooting the game? Because I know you don't want to miss those highlights. So it is a Thursday night game now. Okay. Rockcastle County's at Casey County. There's the Prestonsburg Breathitt County game in Jackson. Clay's at Hazard. I think that's your game of the week. Did somebody make a mistake on that because they mentioned it on TV the other night, and I don't think they were supposed to.
did, but I don't know. It hasn't been confirmed with us.
Yeah. I know that they said Clay County has it. I said, no, Clay County's at Bell tonight. I said, that's the game of the week. But I thought they might have made a mistake because I thought the announcer might have misread script. You know?
They like to say they like to start promoting next game week during game week. I'm sure that it is. I know we had talked about it being an option, but I never got a 100% confidence.
Oh yeah, well we'll all know tomorrow when you guys always announce it. Whitley County's at Madison Southern. Then there's a couple other games. You got Lawrence County at Mason County. That's gonna be a good game. You've got Middlesboro at Knox Central. I just want to see a Middlesboro ready to make a playoff run. Somerset's at Glasgow, and North Laurel's at Wayne. So got a lot of good games right now. There's not, but there's a lot of RPI things here can really change one team to another.
Mm-hmm. Did you say Perry Williamsburg?
Perry's at Williamsburg.
I think that one will be just like level wise.
It's a big game for Williamsburg because you want to stay in the RPI high. See, a lot of these teams they would probably go play quarter or two, rest them for the playoffs come up. You don't want no injuries. But if you're in an RPI situation, you can't do that. Then you have to keep them on the field because you say, "Oh, we've got to do as much as we can to keep our RPI where it's at, or we're going to be messed up."
Yeah.
Just like the Corbin-Pulaski County game. For Corbin, it's so big because if you win, you're pretty much guaranteed you won't get around Boyle County to Kroger Field if you can make it. Now, you will have to go on the road. You may have to beat a Franklin County or a Paducah Tillman to get to Kroger Field. But at least if you're in the top four, you're going to be at least 3 home games in the first 3 rounds. So, I mean, it's big. And I'm glad this game got rescheduled because both coaches wanted to play it. Both coaches, and I think this shows to me that Pulaski County is not afraid of anybody. And to choose to play a Corbin on a week 10, that's just good camaraderie between coaches and teams. And I can't wait to see the highlights because it's going to be a great game.
Yeah, for sure. That'll be a good test for them, like for post to play like tough competition to get them ready. What they're probably going to meet later in the year. So,
okay, Eugene, your thoughts? I know you've been watching everything from week to week, and what's your thoughts on everything we've talked about?
Well, Class 4A is very intriguing to me because you've got Paducah Tillman and Franklin County right now as the top 2. So right now, as it stands, you're going to have Boyle County and or Corbin and or Johnson Central. Somebody is going to have to go to Paducah Tillman, and somebody is going to have to go to Franklin County in order to advance to the state finals. And that's sort of uncharted waters. We've not seen Boyle County have to do that the last few years. So to see Justin Haddix and the Rebels have to go on the road in order to make it to the state championship game, it's going to be gut check time for them in round 4 of the playoffs.
Am I wrong, or did Boyle County not go to Franklin County last year in the state semifinals after they played Corbin?
I'm not sure. I thought they were at home because I think Boyle County was the number 1 or number 2 RPI team.
Okay. I thought that I knew they played Franklin County, but I thought they played them down in Franklin County because I don't know. I'm usually wrong. So, but what's some other teams, Eugene, that the Audrey and Jack have mentioned that you like?
Well, another thing, is we mentioned we talked to Coach Hilton at Bell County tonight, but I tell you what, lurking in the distance here is Belfry. I think Belfry has quietly had a very good season, and Belfry, there's going to be a lot to be said for them before the playoffs are over this year.
Yeah, I like that one. I liked Belfry from when I did their pigskin preview, just how experienced they are. They brought back like most of their team, and they were good last year. So then when you bring back your entire good team, you're going to be a great team. And so I feel like they have that historical program to get to the championship, which they haven't in the past few few years, so they're going to be hungrier than ever, and these are the kids that know how to do it.
Listen, CJ, I'm telling you, they're quietly creeping up on people, and I tell you, in the playoffs, don't be surprised if Belfry don't make a deep run.
Oh, I agree 100%. Now,
another thing I want to say is,
go ahead.
In Class 5A, I actually think 5A is weaker than 4A from top to bottom.
Yep.
And I don't think it's close. But I tell you, with that being said, I think Pulaski County is geared toward a very deep playoff run. In fact, I'm going to say I think Pulaski County will make the state finals this year.
Ooh, I like.
I don't know if I would go that far, but I do think that the only reason I'm questioning the state appearance is because I don't know the status of Zach, if he'll be back. But I do, I love what Travis Burns is doing in his first year. I mean, we talked week 1 when they lost by 1 to Beechwood. Travis made it clear nobody thought that Pulaski would make it that close. And for them to lose by 1 because they missed a couple PATs, I think it goes to show that Travis Burns has these guys ready to make a deep playoff run. It will be interesting to see how the quarterback situation with Zach's injury plays out as you get deeper into that regional semifinals and regional final rounds.
Well, I'm going to take Eugene one further. Last year we saw North, South, Southwestern, and Pulaski beat all 4 teams on the other side. I think they do it again this year. I think all 4 seeded teams beats the other 4 seeded teams on the other side, because I don't think Montgomery County is going to be the one. Montgomery County is the one. East Jessamine. Madison Southern's the 2. East Jessamine's the 3, and West Jessamine's the 4. Well, you got North's going to be playing Montgomery County, and if North can get just enough people healthy, I think they can go down to Montgomery County and beat them. The other game, East Jessamine and Southwestern. Southwestern will be at home.
Yeah.
I think they can win that game. Pulaski at home, yeah, automatic. Beat West Jessamine. I think they'll destroy them. And then I think South could go to Madison Southern and beat them. I'm not confident in that other district. This district's a lot more. They played a lot more stronger football than the other district. But now, these are some potential matchups in the playoffs. So they haven't brought them out, but these are pretty much guaranteed in stone. The only district that's not been guaranteed is the Boyle County region, because they got a 3-way tie over there. Taylor County, Wayne County, and Russell are all tied right now. Well, they have to use the RPI, because if one loses, whoever wins, who's ever got the higher RPI will be 2 seed, 3 and 4 on. But in Class A, our mountain schools, it'll be Pineville at Pikeville. It'd be Paintsville at Middlesboro, Lynn Camp at Williamsburg, Harlan at Hazard. 2A, it'll be Danville at Beechwood, Walton Verona at Breathitt, Somerset hosting Owen County. I'm sorry, that's wrong. Owen County, they'd be switch that. They're the 3, Somerset's the 1. And then Leslie County will be at Bracken. Floyd Central will be at Shelby Valley. Pike Central will be at Martin. East Ridge will be at Prestonsburg. And Knott County will be at Betsy Lane. Powell would be at Bale. Clay be at Lawrence. Knox Central will be at Belfry. Estill will be at Rock. These are potential. These are not in stone, but they're pretty much potential. 4A, you got Boyd County at Covington Catholic. Grant County's going to have to play Johnson Central. Now, if Johnson Central should win that first round game, then they'd have to go to Covington Catholic in the second round of the district, of the region. I want to see that game between Covington Catholic and Johnson Central.
No doubt.
That'd be classic. You got Harrison County going to Ashland and Greenup County at Mason. And then you got Boyle as a 1. They will automatically play Perry. But then everybody else, Letcher will host, Corbin will host, and Whitley's on the road. They have to wait for those other 3 teams to get the tiebreaker. And then North will be at Montgomery County. East Jessamine will be at Southwestern. West Jessamine will be at Pulaski. And South Laurel will be at Madison Central, or Southern, sorry. So, I think we're going to – the first round probably not as intriguing, but you've got a lot of second-round games. If you get 1s and 2s, those are good games. And you look at – he mentioned Belfry. Belfry at 1 played Rock. Bale and Rock at Belfry. Oh, that'd be so much fun. That'd be a lot of fun, because then you'd have Bale playing Lawrence County on Log Mountain, if that's possible. So that'd be another good matchup.
Yeah.
Okay, two more questions, and I'll let your pretty faces go do some news or whatever you guys have to do. One's the best, they're actually both basketball. One's UK. What was your thoughts on the Cats' first exhibition game?
I think it was crazy how many 3-pointers they took. It was absolutely insane. They love sharing the ball, which is super fun to watch. There's not a person here that I don't think can't shoot a 3-pointer, and Coach Pope has said multiple times, like, everyone on the team has a green light to just throw it up. So I was very, very impressed by that. Obviously, it's hard still to tell what this team can really do because they haven't played a team close to their caliber. So it was very impressive, but it's still like hard for me to tell like what's really going to go down, you know.
You get a little more better look Tuesday night. I mean, Minnesota State, not much. I mean, they're not going to be no different what Kentucky Wesleyan is, but I think we're going to get a better look. I think Coach Pope will probably do a few more different things to get them ready for that opening game against Wright State on the November 4th.
I was impressed by how quickly made a stat line for himself. Like, only had like 9 minutes or something, and he had to shout out.
You look at this roster. I love this roster.
Yeah,
I love our roster.
Yeah, they're great. They all seem great people. They're so excited to be here playing for this team. You can tell, like, Big Blue Nation is so excited too. So I think it's going to be a fun year. Love Coach Pope.
CJ, it's and thank you to Audrey for mentioning Trent. I was able to go to practice one time this summer, and and saw how he's trying to work through the speed of the game and all this. But one thing that I'll say is listen, when you get inside a place that you've had this kind of success that he has at Rupp Arena. It's just like a golfer playing your favorite course. I mean, you got that shooter's eye, and when that first one goes in, look out. And I think that's what happened to him in that first exhibition game. And I just wanted to get your thoughts.
I think his release got quicker too. Like, he just shoot. So it's so impressive. So yeah.
Eugene, one of the things that you mentioned was the place, having so much success at Rupp. He set the record for KHSAA most 3-pointers made in a postseason. For him to come back and just, make 4 threes right off the bat. I know it's an exhibition. I get it's Kentucky Wesleyan, but it's got to feel special. And I definitely think it's sort of like you said, a golfer playing his favorite course because he knows it so well and he knows his spot. And just knowing, I think having that kind of performance in your first exhibition game is crucial to the success of your career because you got your release down. You're in an energetic mood going into your next couple games. So it's a very special moment for Trent, for Big Blue Nation, and especially, I'm sure, just as big for Harlan County.
For sure.
And Harlan County's got to be proud of that because you just like when Reed was there, you kept North Laurel on the map, and Reed still puts North Laurel on the map now. Him playing for the Rockets, and Trent's going to do the same thing. And the thing about Trent is that he doesn't have to worry about if he plays, he plays. If he don't, he don't. But he can his progress. He's going to make his impact probably next year when he's sophomore. Because a lot of these guys ain't going to be here. We're going to have a whole new different team. But I think them 3 freshmen he's got, Perry, Trent, and the other guy, those 3 are really going to have a big impact on this team. And
well, the big thing about Trent is listen, and I think I'd like to hear Audrey and Jack's take, but listen, if he scores 1,000 points in his career or 100, he's such a good kid. He's an even better person than he is a player.
Yeah. He's so humble, and like he's just so appreciative of the opportunity. Like, God, able to like he just bleeds blue, and he can you can just tell how much like people love him and want him to do well, and people don't do that if you're
Yeah, he's got a good attitude about everything, and it's special to see because, if you have that type of attitude, it also helps your game pretty much because of everything. Basketball, a lot of people focus on the fundamentals and the athletic ability about it, but, basketball is just as mental of a game as anything else, and I think the attitude that you bring into it is going to help or hurt your game just as much as anything else will.
Yeah.
For sure.
He's embracing everything.
It's hard not to embrace this Kentucky team because Coach Pope makes you want to fall in love with them real quick because it's like, okay, we had Calipari. Ugh, I don't want to fall in love with that. But, oh, wait a minute. This looks good. Hey, I like this.
He's saying the right thing all the time.
Yeah.
And I love what he done in the post game the other night. He comes out, talks a few minutes. He goes, you right there, you have a question. He took questions from the fans. Listen, Calipari he'd said 10 words in the locker room. Or he'd send an assistant coach up there. Coach Pope wants the Big Blue Nation to be a part of this team. And if that's what you're gonna be, then you're gonna be successful. Mm-hmm. Now, wins and losses ain't important for this year because they're gonna come and go. Because when you play Duke and Clemson and Gonzaga and Louisville's going to be a lot better basketball team. Listen, I seen their exhibition game the other night. They're 2-1 better this year than they were the last 3 years. When you play, if you did not watch the Kansas-Arkansas exhibition game, shame on you. Because I'm gonna be really honest. Arkansas is underrated. And Kansas is overrated because Arkansas is a lot better basketball team than I thought. I mean, they just took Kansas to school. I mean, and Coach Self said at the game, he said, listen, I would never play an exhibition game like this, but we're doing it for charity. And I understand the reason why. But he goes, tonight, my boys got a good lesson learned to them real quick that having number one beside your name, you're not number one. Because they look so lost. I don't know if you watched any of the game or the highlights. They look so lost. I mean, Kansas looks so lost. But Arkansas looked like they've been playing with each other for 5 years. But this is because Calipari can coach. We ain't going to sit here and say he can't. He can coach. But you just got to have a better – you can't leave your fans out in the dry. And you got to be able to make them embrace you. You know what I mean?
Well, Coach Cal is always going to have good players. But at the same time, you got to beat Oakland and St. Peter's. You just have to.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
You cannot lose those games. And listen, when you got the kind of players that he has, those are games that you just cannot lose. And losing those games combined with some of the off the court stuff, I think just kind of set the stage for a divorce. Not all relationships are meant to last, and unfortunately, that one did not. But it was a great 15 years that it did.
Yep, you're 100%. All right, guys, I was going to ask you about the YMT, but I know you probably don't have any ideas of when the draw will be out, so I expect it's pretty soon. But again, I'm excited about the YMT this year. I can't wait till I see the brackets, especially the boys' side, because that's going to be off the charts. I mean, I told last week, I said this is the best 8 teams I've ever seen in the YMT. From 1 to 8, there's not going to be a weak game in a whole bracket. And I can't wait to see when you guys post that eventually. Okay, you guys are lovely. You've done such a great job. You will move on to the next show. I want to say God bless you all. Have a happy Halloween. Be safe. And I don't know who will be with me next week. Commando will let me know probably tomorrow. I'm guessing it'll be you.
Yeah, it'll probably. Yeah, I'll be right.
But if it's a tag team effort again, listen, I'm up for that all the time. You know me. Listen. You guys, you're great. Thank you so much for what you do. You have a happy Halloween. God bless you all, and we will talk to you next Sunday.
Thanks, guys.
Guys, thanks for seeing y'all.
Thank you. Oh, whoops. I've lost Eugene. Hope Eugene will come back. Come back, please, Eugene. I have something I'll tell you. I want to thank everybody for being a part of the show tonight. Let me get my final notes over here. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank our guests. We had a great show tonight. We had Justin Amburgey from WYMT. We had We had Coach Mills from Alice Lloyd. We had Coach Dudley Hilton from Bell County. And Audrey and Jack was there. And that was I love that. That was awesome. Be with me next Sunday night as we return, as I'll be back with you at 8 o'clock. We'll be having another great episode of the CJ Howard Show. I'll be back with you next Sunday night, November 3rd. John Lowe is going to be with me, the former WYMT sports reporter and director. We're going to I got a couple of guests already wound up. Aaron Rose is going to be with me. He is a ring announcer and does a production for Prep Spin and some other wrestling places. We're going to talk with him, and we're going to have him as a guest. Winston Lee's going to be with me for a guest next week. We're going to talk with Jenkins and talk about a bunch of other stuff, too. I lost you, Eugene. I did not want you to leave me. I had final thoughts for you. But join me next week. John Lowe will be my co-host. We'll have Aaron Rose, Winston Lee, and many, many more. I want you to go to my Facebook page. I want you to go share it, the CJ Howard Sports page. I want you to like it. I want you to share it. I want you to share it with all your friends. I want you to go to my YouTube page. I want you to like and subscribe to my YouTube page as we get ready for that, please. Follow me on TikTok. If you have not, please do so. I would appreciate that as well. I think that's all. Again, will join me next Sunday night as I'll have episode number 12. Eugene, give me your final thoughts, and then we'll get out of here.
Well, my final thoughts are it was a spectacular night, a spectacular lineup of guests, starting with Justin Amburgey at Knott County Central, and what a fantastic job he's done over there. Coach Dudley Hilton, which just continues to amaze. He's defied time as he is, continues to win and win big, even though he's been doing it for as long as he has. John Mills is making a huge impact at Alice Lloyd on Eastern Kentucky, and not only with the basketball, but also producing the next round of leaders throughout Eastern Kentucky. And then I tell you, on a personal note, just covering our team through the Sweet 16 last year, I've even told Neil Middleton, general manager at WYMT, that I think Audrey has just done a sensational job. Everything she does it 100% and does it 100% from the heart. And even though that she's not from the mountains, it comes across as that she has a deep affection for the mountains and the people of Eastern Kentucky, and it certainly comes through on every single one of her telecasts. So I certainly appreciate her.
Well, we're glad to have her, and we're glad. I hope she'll be around for a long time because she's a great impact on WYMTV and their sports programs. Do not leave me, Eugene, after we're off the air because I want to say something to when we're not live. Again, I want to remind you, join me next week, Sunday night, episode number 12 of the CJ Howard Show, 8 o'clock. John Lowe will be my co-host, and we'll have a great guest list as well. This is CJ Howard, rounding third and heading for home. And as Casey Kasem would say, keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for those stars. I want to say I love you all. God bless you all. Have a happy early Halloween, and please be safe. Please be safe. If you're out there getting candy and you're in certain areas, you be very careful how you do it and be very safe. But again, love you all. God bless you, and good night.